Hello everybody, this is Pastor Green. We're doing another Bible study, 2 Samuel chapter 19. If you'd like me to come speak at your church, you can send me an email. If you have any questions, you can just comment below. 2 Samuel 19, verse 1. And it was told Joab, behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. And the victory that day was turned into mourning, and all the people, for the people heard, say that day how the king was grieved for his son. And the people got them by stealth that day to the city, and people began in shame steal away when they flee in battle. But the king covered his face, and the king cried out with a loud voice, O my son Absalom, O Absalom, my son, my son. And Joab came to the house of the king and said, Thou hast shamed this day the faces of all thy servants, which this day have saved thy life, and the lives of thy sons and thy daughters, and the lives of thy wives and the lives of thy concubines. You have to understand, you have David here, and here's Absalom. So all these different people are going to grieve for him. And thou lovest thine enemies and hateth thy friend, for thou hast declared this day that thou regardest neither princes nor servants. For the day I perceived that Absalom had lived, although we had died this day, then he had pleased thee well. You see, what happened was that Absalom was coming after David. He was trying to destroy David and anybody that followed him. And so when he got stuck in a tree, one of David's, generals or soldiers or whatever, went out there and killed Absalom. And so Joab's saying, if Absalom didn't die, he'd be still coming after you. He would destroy us all. You should be happy that he's gone. But David was also sad because his grandson's now dead. Proverbs 27 says, Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. And you can see a picture here of Judas kissing Jesus. Another picture here of Judas kissing Jesus. It says in Matthew 26, And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came with him, a great multitude of swords and staves, from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now when he had betrayed him, gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same as he, hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. But Jesus said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? And come they and laid their hands on Jesus and took him. Jesus was still calling him a friend after he betrayed him. Judas said, for whatever reason he went after Jesus. I believe that he thought that the Messiah was going to take over the country at that point in time and not just, be a good servant. But Judas realized later he made a mistake. If you look at the story in Luke 22, it says, And when yet he spoke, behold, a multitude, and he came, was called Jesus, one of the 12, went before them, and drew near to Jesus to kiss him. But Jesus said unto him, Judas, betrayest thou Son of Man with a kiss? He's like, why would you know who I am, why would you betray me? Deuteronomy 13 says, If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or thy wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is in thy own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, no, nor the fathers, namely the gods of the people which are found round about you, nigh unto thee, and far off from thee, from the one end of the earth, even to the other end of the earth. He's saying, if somebody you know personally tries to get you to leave God and go do something else, not necessarily a good thing. Thou shalt not consent to him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thy eye pity him, neither shall thou spare, neither shall thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thy hand shall be first among them to put to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he has sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt in the house of bondage. He's saying, if somebody is trying to get you to pull away from God, they're not really a friend. Get rid of them. They're not your friend. Go find somebody else as a friend. Back to 2 Samuel 19:7. Now therefore arise, go forth, and speak comfortably unto thy servants. For I swear by the Lord, if thou not go forth, thou will not tarry one to thee the night, and thou will be worse unto thee than the evils that have befell thee from youth until now. And the king arose and sat in the gate, and they told him the people, saying, Behold, the king doth set the gate. And all the people came before the king, for Israel has fled every man to his tent. To continue to lament so bad for a son as Absalom was very unwise and very unworthy. Joab concerns David not to properly respect interference to a sovereign. The plain case may be fairly pleaded with those above us, that they may reprove us for what they do amiss. Joab's trying to say, this guy tried to destroy you. This guy tried to take away your kingdom. This guy did all these things, and you're mourning him, and you're sad for him. He's like, I get the fact that he's your grandchild, but he tried to destroy you. But it must not be with rudeness and insolence. Yet David took the reproof in the council prudently and mildly. Timely giving way usually prevents the ill effects of mistaken measures. It's basically saying that sometimes you gotta mourn, but after you're mourning, your head clears up a little bit. 2 Samuel 19:9. And all the people were at strife throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, the king saved us out of the hands of our enemies, and he delivered us out of the hands of the Philistines, and now he has fled out of the land for Absalom. And Absalom, whom we anointed over us, is dead in battle. Now therefore, why speak ye not a word of bringing the king back? And the king David sent to Zadok and to Abiathar the priest, saying, speaking to the elders of Judah, saying, why are ye the last to bring the king back to his house, seeing the speech of all Israel is come to the king, even to his house? You are my brethren, you are my bones and my bone. You are my bones and my flesh, whether ye be in the last to bring him to the king. And ye say to Amas, are not thou the bone and my flesh? God do this me, and more also, if thou be not captain of the host before me continually in the room of the room of Joab. And he bowed the heart of the men of Judah, even in the heart of one man, so that they sent the word to the king, return thou and all thy servants. So the king returning came to Jordan, and Judah came to Gilgal, and to meet the king, to conduct the king over Jordan. David wisely waited until he was invited back. Some exalt themselves to their ruin. See, David waited until they invited him back. He didn't just show up saying, I'm the king, accept me. All throughout the Bible it talks about being exalted. 2 Samuel 19:16. And Shemel the son of Gera, the Benjamite, was in Barum, hastened down to come down with the men of Judah to meet King David. And there were 1,000 men of Benjamin with him, and Ziba the servant of the house of Saul, and his 15 sons, and his 20 servants with him, and all that went to Jordan before the king. And they went over a ferry boat to carry one of the king's household, and what to do he thought good. And Shemel the son of Gera fell down before the king, as he was come over to Jordan. And he said to the king, let not my lord impute iniquity unto me. Neither do thou remember thy which thy servant did perversely that day the Lord the king went out to Jerusalem, till the king shall take into his heart. Shemel is mentioned multiple times in the Bible as well. For thy servant do know that I have sinned. Therefore, behold, I have come to first this day to all the house of Joseph, to go down and meet my lord the king. But Abishai the son of Zeruth answered him and said, shall not Shimei be put to death for this, because he cursed the Lord's anointed? And David said, what have I do with you, ye son of Zeruiah? Ye shall do this to be adversaries unto me. Shall there any man be put to death this day in Israel? For do not know that I am the day of the king over Israel? Therefore the king said to Shemel, thou shalt not die. And the king sware unto him. And Mephibosheth the son of Saul came down to meet the king. And he had neither dressed his feet, nor trimmed his beard, nor washed his clothes, from the day the king departed until he came again to peace. And it came to pass, when he had come to Jerusalem to meet the king, that the king said unto him, wherefore wentest thou down to me, Mephibosheth? And he answered, my lord, O king, my servant deceived me. For thy servant said, I will saddle me an ass, that I may ride thereon and go to the king, because thy servant is lame. And he has slain thy servant of my lord the king. But the lord the king is an angel of God. Do therefore what is good in thine eyes. For all the father's house were dead men before the lord the king. Yet thou didst set thy servant among them that did eat thine own table. What right therefore will I have to yet cry any more to the king? And the king said unto him, why saddest thou no more to the matter? For I have said, thou and Ziba divided the land. And Mephibosheth said to the king, yea, I lay him down all for as much as the lord the king has come again to peace into his own house. And Barzillai the Gileadite came down from Rogel, and over to Jordan with the king to conduct himself over to Jordan. Now Barzillai, a very aged man, even 80 years old, and had provided him the king of substance while he laid at Melhittim, for he was a good man. And the king said unto Barzillai, come with me, and I will feed thee with me in Jerusalem. And Barzillai said to the king, how long will I have to live, that I should go up to the king of Jerusalem? This guy's 80 years old. I am this day fourscore years old, and I can not discern between good and evil. Can thy servant taste what I eat or what I drink? Can I hear any more the voices of singing men and singing women? Wherefore should I thy servant be yet be burdened to the Lord the king? This servant will go a little ways to Jordan with the king. Why shall the king represent it with me such a ward? This guy's like, listen, I'm 80 years old. I can't taste nothing. I can't hear nothing. What's the point? Why are you trying to take care of me? I'm an old man. Let thy servant, I pray thee, turn back again, that I might die in my own city, and be buried by the grave of my father and my mother. But behold thy servant Chimham, let him go over with the Lord the king, and do with him that I shall seem good unto thee. And the king answered, Chimham shall go over with me, and I will do to him what he shall seem good to thee, and whatsoever thou shalt require me to do, that I will do for thee. So he's saying, listen, I'm 80 years old, I can't hear, I can't taste nothing. Take this other person here, the servant, and treat him like you were going to treat me. Let me just die with my family back home. And all the people went over to Jordan, and when the king came over, the king kissed Barzillai and blessed him and returned to his own place. When the king went to Gilead, Chimham went on with him, and the people of Judah constructed the king, and also half the people of Israel. Jeremiah 41 says, And they departed, and dwelt the habitation of Chilham, which was by Bethlehem, to go to enter into Egypt. So if you look up Chilham in the Bible, it says it's probably the youngest son of Barzillai the Gileadite. The habitation of Chilham was probably an inn or a khan, which is the proper meaning of the Hebrew word girth. It's rendered a habitation. It's established in later times in a possession at Bethlehem, which David gave to him as a reward for his loyalty and accompanied him to Jerusalem after the defeat of Absalom. It has been supposed that, considering the stationary character of Eastern institutions, it was the stable of this inn, or caravanserai, that our Savior was born. So this guy was an important person. 2 Samuel 19:41. And behold, all the men of Israel came to the king and said unto the king, Why have our brethren the men of Judah stolen thee away, and have brought the king and his household, all of David's men with him, over to Jordan? And all the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the king is near kin to us, wherefore they be angry with the matter. Have we eaten all the king's cost, or have we given any gift? And the men of Israel answered the men of Judah, saying, We have 10 parts of the king, and we have also more right in David than thee. Why do they despise us? And our voice should not be first and bring about our king. And the words of the men of Judah were fiercer than the words of the men of Israel. Well, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, you can always comment below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click the bell, all those fun things. If you want to share it on social media, please do so. On the bottom of the bottom right of the screen, I'm going to put the 2 Samuel Bible study. Top left of the screen is going to be the 1 Samuel Bible study. And the bottom left of the screen is going to be a video you two think you're going to like. I appreciate you guys watching. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Have yourself a great day.